Today we're setting off from Fife on a road trip north, not just across Scotland, but inward, towards a calmer, clearer state of mind. Road trips have a way of reminding us that life isn't meant to be rushed. Every mile is a moment, every stop a chance to breathe. As we leave the familiar behind, the landscape begins to open up. Rolling hills stretch out like they're inviting us to slow down. Sometimes changing our surroundings is the first step towards changing our perspective. Even a short journey can reset the mind.
Hi, welcome back. I'm James. This is Pedal Paddle Pace, where we use the outdoors just for some positive mental health. This week we're getting a bit of Highland respite. As you probably saw from the scenery, we're heading up north this week. We're going to have a couple of stop-offs on the way. One a bit of a nostalgia trip, and another one as well where I'll show you around the barracks just outside Kingussie.
Our first stop is Ruthven Barracks, standing proud on its hill, weathered but still here. There's something powerful about places like this. They've endured storms, battles, centuries, yet they remain. It's a reminder that we too can stand strong through whatever life throws at us. Take a moment here, feel the wind, let the past stay in the past, let the present be enough.
We've got about another 30 miles to go until we get to our first destination. As I said, a bit of a nostalgia trip. This is going to be a 3-day excursion. The channel's really been building. Thank you to everyone that's been watching, all the likers, the subscribers, if you haven't already. A little click would go a long way there. But this week we're going to try and do a bit of walking, have a little look around a new place, never been before. We'll get the bike out. We've got the car fully stacked this week. So stay tuned, hope you enjoy, and I'll get you back to some of this amazing scenery as we head up into the Highlands. So it's been a 4-hour drive. We had a bit of a stop off there as well. But welcome to Dingwall. We're on the high street just now. We're here for a bit of nostalgia kick, but I'll save the surprise. Maybe for a few more minutes. So this would have been Dingwall's Market Square, and then here's the entrance to the townhouse, or maybe called the toll booth here. It was built in 1733 for the Borough Council headquarters, and it now houses the Dingwall Museum. If we look across the road, we can see, very similar to Edinburgh, the wee courts, the wee closes, just the wee connections getting you into the backs of the houses. A nice wee village here. This is the Royal Borough of Dingwall. And they like to knit for the posts for some reason here. Oh, it's all looking tasty, but maybe I'll have to wait until I've had my lunch. So while Dornoch might be the final destination for today, I've got a bit of nostalgia here, so we're going to go for a lunch, and you don't see many of these up in Scotland. Let's head to the Wimpy. A burger joint that does table service, and you get to seat at your seat, and you get a proper menu. Wimpy, I've missed you. Takes me back. Childhood memories. I think the last time I was in a Wimpy was about 35 years ago. Burger on a plate, great service, cutlery. I'll see you after this one. Well, that was certainly worth the travel anyway. Nostalgic. Feel like I'm 15 again. Just finished my ice cream float. I'm back on the road. So, just a quick stop in Dingwall, but got something for later on. We're going to head off now. We're going to get the tent set up at Dornoch, and we're going to have a bit and explore around a bit there. So, Wimpy, you're amazing. But let's hit the road again.
So we continue north. The scenery becomes wilder, the mountains rise, the sky widens, and everything feels a little quieter. This is the kind of quiet that lets your thoughts settle, the kind that helps you hear yourself again.
Oh, welcome to Dornoch Camping and Caravan Park. Looks like we've got ourselves set up just in time. Got a wee bit of drizzle going on, but the tent's ready. We've got the seat. Most importantly, we're going to get a brew on. There's not so much midges here. There's a wee bit of wind coming in, but we'll still smidge up because the boss told us to. All right. And like I said, we've got something to enjoy with our cup of coffee. So I'll get the kettle on. We'll catch up in a minute. So that's the smidge on then. Hopefully I'll now be the wee blighter's lunch. Talking of lunch, obviously we stopped off at Dingwall today. Yeah, that was a bit of nostalgia kick. I think last time I was in a Wimpy, oh gosh, I must have been about 14 or 15 year old. Probably going to see the pictures with my schoolmates. Straight for school, go and get some dinner, and then off to the cinema. It's probably Indiana Jones or Back to the Future. It's funny how going to the cinema used to be quite a big thing, you know. It was going to see the latest cinema release, the soundtrack to go with it, you know. I think I watched a YouTube program where somebody said, you know, the big pictures stopped when the soundtrack stopped, and it touched base with me, you know. You think of a particular film, but then it's also got the music to go with it. Each one can maybe spark memories, just for when you were younger or a certain time, you know. So it's nice to reminisce, isn't it? The journey up here was certainly worth it. I think I said on the last video, it was the multiverse one, that it was time for some changes. You know, getting out of the comfort zone, trying some new things. And whilst I maybe camped and stuff when I was a kid, you always did it with other people, you know. It was your friends that were going out camping, or, you know, you go away with your partner at the time. I've made sure I've brought an airbed this time. I'm getting a bit old for sleeping on these mats and stuff. But no, I quite enjoy it. But this is the first time I've ventured out on my own. I'm at a campsite today. Tomorrow though, I'm going to try wild camping. Wild-ish camping, I'm not going to lie. I've got everything except for the kitchen sink in the car. If I looked hard enough, I probably would find a kitchen sink though, in all honesty. And we're going to have our cuppa, our little treat that we got down in Dingwall, and then we'll take a wee walk into Dornoch and have a wee look about. There's also some crazy golf here on the site as well, which was free to play, so I might get a wee round in here. So we're just taking a walk from the campsite up to Dornoch, have a little look around. I came across this, the Witch's Stone, Fear and Fire. Janet Horn has been a lady's maid before she married, but by 1727 she was old and confused. Earlier that year, her neighbours reported she was using witchcraft to turn her daughter into the devil's pony. Things are a wee bit different up north, aren't they? Janet and her daughter, whose hands were deformed, were imprisoned in Dornoch, where they were tried and found guilty of witchcraft. The daughter escaped before she could be punished, but her mother was sentenced to death. The next day she was stripped, rolled in tar and placed in a barrel. A grim procession carried her here, where she was burnt alive. That's a bit rough, isn't it? But there is a witch's stone here to mark the place, and let's just show you this one. So just up in the garden there is the witch's stone, and that marks the execution place. She was the last person recorded in Scotland to die in this terrible way. Let's not bring that back. That doesn't sound nice at all. Let's see what else we can find on the way up to Dornoch. I suppose here's another wee quirk as well. 72 kilometres to Inverness. Since when did we start using kilometres? Maybe it's for all the Americans that come up here and play golf. Yeah, so a bit strange that we use kilometres on that one there. Like I said, maybe it's for the tourists and things, but I don't know. It's not got the same ring to it when you say I'd walk 804 kilometres and I'd walk 804 kilometres more. I've now changed the kilometres to minutes. I'm starting to wonder where I am now. He's everywhere. He's like that Mary Queen of Scots, so he is. Obviously, coming from Fife, we've got a bit of a connection with Andrew Carnegie, as Dunfermline was his birthplace. You can actually see this is the Carnegie Courthouse here. This was built before he actually came here, but he bought Skibo Castle, which is very close by, for his summer residence. Now, they changed the name on this building. His legacy is massively intertwined with Dornoch, it seems, and he was quite the benefactor here. Obviously, Carnegie's been a philanthropist, known all over the world. So this would be another claim to fame for Dornoch then. It would appear that Dornoch's got the smallest cathedral in Scotland. It was built in 1224 originally, and then 200 years later a new bishop's palace or castle was built on the site. As you can see over here to the right, this is the 15th century palace, now the Castle Hotel, and this is a tower that still stands. So this is Scotland's smallest cathedral. An amazing sound. I said on the last video that it was time for a change. Trying to get past the reset, move into the recovery. This week, away for 3 days. I've travelled on my own before, but I don't know, this feels a bit different this time. There wasn't any destination planned. The only decision that I made was I want to keep away from the midges as much as I can. So I've ended up coming up the North Coast. I think it is part of the North Coast 500, but in all honesty, that's not really for me yet. Maybe when I get a camper van, you never know. Can do a wee bit more touring there. But this is just getting away and just exploring what's on my doorstep or a bit further afield. I've said in previous videos, we're jetting away halfway around the world, but sometimes we forget what we've actually got here. Really impressed with Dornoch so far. Not any itinerary, not any I have to be here or I have to be there. But I think these videos, there's quite a lot of footage that I want to show. And I'm proud of where I live, I'm proud of Scotland. I want to show it for the best of what it is. It's just really deciding what direction the channel's going in. We started off with resets. There's only so many times that you can reset, and sometimes you need to say, okay, I've pressed the reset button now. Now it's time to power up. Now it's time to get on with things. So is it mental health challenges, or finding my own peace, or just exploring a bit more, being out of my comfort zone, actually getting away like this It's quite uplifting. A day in Dornoch then. It's been really nice. Wasn't too sure of the place, never really did much research on it. Certainly somewhere I'd like to come back to. I enjoy making these videos. I think I've probably said quite a few times about this now. It gives me a bit of purpose. I think we all want to belong to something, just like going into the church today. I don't know, you get a feeling for it. There's that sense of belonging to something. I think we all crave it, don't we, at some point? Just wanting to be part of something. Walking back to the campsite today, I had a moment where I thought to myself, why am I actually doing this? I actually phoned my wife, and she's always good for solid advice. But I honestly questioned why had I travelled up to the north of Scotland? Why did I feel that I needed to do this? And I think it's partly to get myself out of the comfort zone. I think we both agreed that was a big contributing factor. But also just, why not? I've got the ability to do it. Like I've said before, we're sometimes guilty of just sitting on the couch, wait for the weekend, say we're going to do this, say we're going to do that, but when it comes to it, we don't actually get ourselves up there and doing it. So to leave the house this morning and to drive up was quite a big thing for me. I did say in the previous videos, I'm looking for ways to, I don't know, recover rather than reset now, and do something different, go different places, have new experiences, pushing myself to do things that I probably wouldn't have done before. I did travel quite a bit when I was younger, I say younger, I was in my 30s. But it was different kind of travel. I don't know what it is now, but it's nice to have a purpose. The channel's starting to build quite a community, as it were, as well, and that gives that sense of belonging as well. Much the same as when I went into the smallest cathedral in Scotland today, which is in Dornoch. Hope you enjoyed the pictures and things there. But I think that's what everybody wants. You know, there's a times for solitude, but then there is times as well where we come together, you know, whether that be to help each other for the greater good or to celebrate things. Heading back to the campsite now. Hopefully not going to burn the dinner. And the camping trip continues. Hope you're enjoying the adventure. Mini adventure, call it what you will. If you do, maybe a like or a subscribe. Starting to build on the subscribers now, so thanks to everyone that has joined. And again, a comment. Where would you like to go? Where's your destination, the place that you like? Why not drop it in the comments below? Let's get a bit of a chat. I do try to answer all of the comments that come up. So yeah, maybe yours will be the next one.